Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Camellia Noble Channel. I wanted to welcome you and to talk about today when the journey started and what the first step was. So today we're going to talk about going on a low cholesterol diet and the benefits of that. We're also going to talk about hearing what the doctors diagnosed you with, but deciding what we believe. And we're also going to talk about, what got me from this picture to this in 1 year. So this is my 1 year journey. I went from 200 pounds to about 145, 150 in about a year. So let's get started. Step one was I woke up in 2008 at 4 o'clock in the morning and I couldn't move my right shoulder. And I ended up going to the ER and I became their human test toy. And they really didn't know what was wrong, so they wanted to give me lots of tests. And I had mentioned that I had a lump on my left breast, so they gave me a mammogram, which is radiating my breast, as well as smashing my breast. And I don't know, ladies, if you've had a mammogram, they're really painful. And it was just extremely painful, and I had already felt really bad, and now I was being put through a lot of more pain through all these tests. And I had a neurological test where they put needles from here all the way up to test to make sure that my nerves worked good, and there was drug therapies that they gave me, and the medicine wasn't working very well with my system, and I just wasn't myself on it. So basically they told me to go follow up with my doctor. So I followed up with my doctor at the time, and he, after running some tests, he diagnosed me with having a cholesterol score of 377. The normal is 150. Well, my mom had her first heart attack at 31, and I was 28 at the time. And that's this picture. So I was 28 years old, 200 pounds, not feeling well. They weren't for sure what was wrong. And my right shoulder, I couldn't move. I remember I used to have shooting pains from my neck all the way down to my feet. And it just hurt to sit up and get down, lay down, and just to move in general. And I was really cold. My hands were cold, my feet were cold. I was losing my hair. I was really emotional. That was just some of the symptoms. I think there were so many that it takes time for your body to discover everything that you have to deal with. And for me, I'm still on the journey. I'm 5 years into it and still have, a couple more things to finish up and fine tune. And once those things are done, I personally believe that I will be 100% healed, and I can just, live a happy, healthy life and move on with my life and be able to teach healing instead of constantly having to do stuff to keep myself healthy. So 2008 was diagnosed with high cholesterol. And he said, I want you to go home and take this pill. And I said, hold on a second. If I take this pill, will I have to take it the rest of my life? And he said, yeah. And I said, do you have a diet I can follow? So he gave me this diet, and I actually have it. But basically what I did is I took all of the food labels and I would turn them over, and if it said 5 milligrams or below, I could have it. And at the time I did eat meat, and I did eat cheese and milk. And so what I did, step one, was go on, skim milk or almond milk. And then from there, I went off milk completely. I also went from regular cheese to low cholesterol cheese to no cheese. And I went from red meat to no red meat, just fish and chicken, only local. So I'd have to get it from my farmer's market, and it had to be organic. And I had to shake hands with a farmer. So that whole year I moved into cholesterol free, and that was so cool because once I went cholesterol free, guess what happened? In 2 months I lowered my cholesterol from 377 to 150, and let me show you what that looked like. I lost 20 pounds, and now in this picture, I weigh 180 pounds. And I figured that in order to get better, I was going to have to show the world, including myself, where I was at. I had to love myself where I was at right now in order to really embrace where I was going. So I had never wore a bikini before, and at 180 pounds, I went and got a bikini. It was from Switzerland. I was so happy about that. It was like really nice, and I was in Florida vacationing at the time, and it was just really a fun time. And I bought this bikini, and I went on the beach with, all my fat rolls and stuff, and didn't care, because I have to love myself at 200 pounds or at 180 to get to where I'm at today. I was also diagnosed with thyroid disease, and I went from, I had hypothyroid, and that explains the hair loss, the cold hands, the cold feet, the crying, stuff like that. And they gave me a pill, which was for Synthroid, and that kind of made me that didn't really work. And then 2 months later, I went on Armour Thyroid, which is a pig hormone. And I really don't do good with pork and pigs. I don't do good with animals, so that wasn't good. And then they gave me Nature-Throid in 2009, and that really changed everything. So 2008, then I was diagnosed with fibermalgia. I started doing physical therapy, massage therapy every week, and that seemed to help a little bit. And finally they told me, Camellia, we don't know what to do. You've already, spent $17,000 at this point, and you've done everything we told you to do, and we don't know what's wrong. Why don't you just go home and collect disability? And I got so angry, and I said, the truth will set me free. If I can figure out what entered my body to make me sick, I can get it out and be healed. And the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. And you have to remember, I'm not fighting for just my own body to be healthy. My grandma died at 52, my grandma Mimi, and I love her very much. And it's not okay for our loved ones to die at 40 and 50 and 60. That's not okay. My mom has heart disease and diabetes, and she's 50. That's not okay to me. And so I wanted to find out the root cause of disease so that I could not only heal myself, but help people I love, and also people who just want to feel good. So thus the TV show. So the doctor looks at me and he's like, have you ever heard of gluten and wheat? And I said, no. And he said, why don't you go home and research gluten and wheat? And I'm not even kidding, guys. I went home, I researched it, and I learned that the wheat that our ancestors were eating it was like different than the ones that we're eating today. The ones that we're eating today are hybrid plants, and they have I'm not a science major, so I just want to explain it the way that I can. Basically, they cause inflammation. Some of them are genetically modified. They've been changed. They're not our natural plant that our Creator designed for us to eat. It's a man-touched plant, and so a lot of people are becoming sensitive to gluten and wheat. And so that day, I got a cardboard box, I went through my kitchen, I got rid of all my plasticware, all my Teflon, and that day I went gluten-free. That was the hardest thing I've ever done, guys, ever. It was like, I don't know, it was just so hard, because gluten and wheat is in pretty much everything, and when we're kids, we get excited about going to parades, and they give us candy. We go to Halloween and we go trick-or-treating and we get candy. You have a birthday and you get a birthday cake and you get a flour cake. Christmas, cookies. Valentine's Day, chocolates. You get it? Like Easter, eggs. So like gluten and wheat was very ingrained in my lifestyle and in my closeness with my family and friends. So when I changed my diet, everyone around me was like, whoa, and I lost a lot of friends, and it was really a hard time. So after 3 months, I started looking like this, which is so exciting. And this is the power of whole foods, of real foods, lemons, limes, oranges, celery, cucumbers, avocado, aloe vera, young Thai coconut, almonds, cashews, pumpkin seeds, sesame seeds, hemp seeds, coconut oil, avocado oil, dulse. The list goes on. People are like, well, what do you eat? And it's like, I eat all these foods that I never knew existed. Like, there's a whole different world of foods out there when we get away from gluten, wheat, dairy, soy, and corn. I'll talk about that in later videos. So let's wrap up here. In 2008, I went off, lowered my cholesterol naturally, learned that I could deal with my fibromyalgia by going off gluten and wheat, and went on a natural thyroid hormone. That was amazing. Guys and girls, everyone out there, if you have thyroid issues, look into a natural hormone for thyroid if you must take a thyroid hormone, and it's called Nature Thyroid. It's like they can't patent it or change it, so it's like as natural. It's the most natural one I found. So I wanted to go to a support group for my being gluten-free, and when I went to the support group, I went to Lucky's Food Patch in Lake Orion here in Michigan and met the owner of the store. She's amazing, and she taught me so much that day. She said, if you want to get better, number one, you need to meet Dr. David Brownstein and read his books. Number two, you need to go off of bottled, packaged, and jarred items. Number three, you need to give up yeast and sugar. And that was my next step. And that brings us right to 2009. So I'm going to stop this video and do some more videos about the next step in my journey. Thanks for joining me, and until we meet again, make today the best day ever. Bye for now.
All right, that was good. That was real good.